Welcome back to the program. My name is Eddie Okela, and my guest this morning is Faisal Chiwewa, who is the founder and, of course, the artistic director of Bayimba International Foundation. You know, here in Kampala. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
You have been traveling quite a bit, and the first part of the show, you were telling us your experience of what you have been seeing wherever you are in your, travel. And the topic of discussion which we want to really dig deep into right now, Faisal, is about the audacity of hope for people to continue creating and being creative in this pandemic situation, even when we're in the lockdown. And we want everybody out there to participate. Audacity of hope to be creative. Are you creating work? And if you're creating work, how is that working out? Where do you publish the work? And Faisal, what would you say to the people, or what would you say to the person who is trying to be creative in this time but does not know where the work should be? Should they continue to be working, by the way?
Yeah, to be honest, I think what the pandemic has really given us, it has gotten some folks out of the cages, out of the shadows, out of their rooms. I've seen folks who I've not seen for a long time. They're like having online shows, like they're having talk shows, and I'm like, what? Yes. This guy's still there? You know, I think it has really helped because people have sat home. I'm also one of them. Who like during the first lockdown, I was like, I am not doing anything online. You know, remember? For the whole year, I didn't do anything from March 2020 to May actually this year. So I was like, I don't want to do anything online. But then I realized, why not? You know, I think I still have something to offer. I can do something, and I came out. So I've seen my friend David Kaiser also coming out with Doreen doing a talk show. I see Nabunjo doing a talk show. I'm like, this is actually interesting because people have started to realize that you cannot just sit down, even if you're just creating content for the future, you need to share something. You need to come out and show people that you're still alive. Otherwise, we will think that you were taken by COVID. But also, I think what I realized, like when I was attending a festival in Germany, I think last month, one of the things I realized that was very interesting is that people find ways to get themselves, active. And the most fascinating thing was, like, we attended a premiere of a production, which was a puppetry production that was done by the Bax Theatre, Puppetry Theatre from Cape Town. And they had 35 people who were working on this production. It's a very beautiful puppetry production. I think 2.5 hours. And this production was supposed to premiere at the Theatre de Welt in Düsseldorf. So the cast had, taken the entire people. They had to do the production and then fly to Düsseldorf and then premiere it at the opening. It was the main event, the main production for the festival. They had put in a lot of money. And then I think a week before they were flying out, first of all, South Africa went into a lockdown. Second, they were all tested with COVID, so they could not leave the country. But look, the festival had organized, they could not cancel the festival, they could not cancel the opening. So what they did, they had to stream the entire production, and they had to invest. So it was a whole new invention for them to sit in the artscape in Cape Town to do the entire production and then stream it live, as they're doing it with the whole new setup of technology, cameras, inserts and all that stuff. And we were seated in a hall in Düsseldorf, 250 people watching a production that is being done live. They didn't have an audience, but we were this way, they were that way, and they made it happen. And we all enjoyed it. I didn't even feel that they were not there. I felt like, because it was a very big screen and we're all seated enjoying it together, they were also doing it. So it was really, for me, a very interesting invention. And I see the future where we're going to go. The hybrid engagement of content nowadays, that we cannot deny people now that we are going to sit back and wait and relax. I think the invention, the new approach to work has to come in with challenges, but also with creativity and innovation and openness and flexibility. So we have to figure out how to continue working.
Wow. Faisal, I mean, this is a very interesting point you're bringing out there. A lot of people who help the creative minds in their process of creativity. And if you're wondering who we are calling actually a creative mind, is the person who think of a problem or sees a problem and create a solution to close the gap that is brought about by that problem. And we're talking about creative designers, people who design marketing and communication posters or flyers, or they put this thing together for you to know the information about that particular product or about that particular brand. I mean, you see billboards out there. There are people who think creatively about how to bring that message to you. And we're talking about people who go into the studio, sit down to write the song, and find somebody with a nice, beautiful voice or handsome voice to actually sing that song and bring it out. Those are called creative people. They think creatively on how best they can bring it out. Everybody is able to think, but not everybody is able to be creative in their process of doing things. Yeah. And we're talking about people who design cars. They sit down, think about how this car is going to look like. Okay, I mean the seats, the driving, the steering wheel, and the tires and all of the things, so that when you sit in this car, you feel comfortable while driving this car. Those people are still creating stuff.
Yeah.
The question is, will the world continue to consume this thing from them if this situation of the pandemic continues, Faisal?
Yeah, it depends on what you're creating and for what audience. I mean, look at what Richard Branson did. Going to space for 1 hour, and now they are opening it up for the rest of the world for $280,000 to go and just spend an hour in space. So I think we can't stop innovating, because the need for products and services are always going to be there.
Yeah.
The need for minds to see different things. We love, as humans, we love color, we love to be challenged, we love to be surprised. So we cannot just, get comfortable with what we know or what we have. And for me, that's one of the challenges I find here. I talked about some time ago about how I'm always surprised to see that we still use the same Tampeco from Mukwano, the same type of Tampeco that we used when we were kids in the 80s, So I find it challenging that they haven't innovated new things, There is nothing new coming out of this company. And when I try to investigate, I was trying to invest, I still want to invest into product design, and not for just clothes or whatever, but I'm really looking into industrial products, and for creative processes, and also the research on that. How do you create products from your local materials? Like the things we have a lot of wood. How can we create products from wood, not just timber for making plastering or whatever, but how do we start being innovative in a way we use products? When you look at people who are designing things for purposes of use, some of them are not very popular, but the thought behind it and the process of putting it out for the public to use it and make it useful, it's very exciting. And I find that really not so much here. We are very much driven by quick things, and that's where the challenge I find. You find people want to make something quickly because they need to survive. We are always in the survival mood. We are always in the rush to make money, rather than sitting down and relaxing. Like the scientists, they sit down, they can spend 5 years looking for a dose, leave alone the COVID one, but people can spend 10 years researching the treatment, and of course it takes a lot of money, a lot of patience, but you come out with something new, something innovative. So here we've not been very lucky to have this, but you also don't blame the people, because there is no support system. When for doctors, they are always supported to, they have research budgets, and they sit down and they are not worried about rent or kids going to school. But for creatives, there is no support system. So you cannot put your life for 5 years researching about new shoes, because you want to put a product out, yet you don't have someone to pay for your rent that day. So this is where the challenges are, and we need to investigate how can we create some sort of structures and systems that are going to help our young people, our creative minds, to be at ease when they are working. I was talking to one of my friend, Goretti Chomhendo, and I was asking her, what are the challenges of writers in Uganda? And she told me that one of the biggest okay, not the biggest, maybe the best gift you can give a writer is space. And I'm like, what do you mean space? Like, yes, she said like space. Get Eddie who wants to write a book, take them to Lunkulu, tell them you're here for 6 months, you don't need to worry about rent, you don't need to worry about food, write. And they will do their job. But they don't have that space here because they're worried about this, they're worried about that. No one is there to support them, no structure, no financial backup. So that's where we are really, really not settled. And then we are hit by this COVID that is not ending. So you find us in a cycle that is never ending with our problems. Yeah.
Faisal, that's a very good perspective right there. I just want to take you to, if there is no one thinking for you as a creative mind, and I'm talking about creativity from lawyers are becoming more and more creative. Lawyers are going to become, they're moving from the traditional law practice as a legal attorney that goes in court to represent a person or an individual, a community, to now cooking food. And they're saying, I need to cook food and I can make very good food. That's being creative, you know?
Yeah.
And the way they present the food, we have a very prominent lawyer right now who is cooking food, and he seems to be making a lot more money from cooking food than the legal practice itself. Now, the question is, do you need somebody, or does one need somebody to give them hope to continue creating because somebody is going to buy? Or you can see a gap in the market like Senson is always doing. He's made open shoes from the tires, used vehicle tires, bags from the tires. I find him very creative.
Yeah.
And are there people who will always buy that? Yes. And how much is it? Are there the market for it? Do you need somebody to take you somewhere to create that? Or you can actually have the hope to say, if Faisal is dressing like this, I think I can give Faisal this hope to be able to have this. What do you think?
I think, you know, the difference with professionalism and passion is whereby you find a lawyer who has a, you know, a bar, he passed the bar and he can practice law, and then he's like, I like to cook food, my passion is in cooking. If it doesn't work, he has a backup plan. He will go back to law and study. And there's a difference with the artists. Some of us are not, you know, we studied art, that's it. And that's where we fall, or we did study art, but we are doing it. There's not so many backup plans. However, I think what COVID has done has really opened up so many people. I've seen many artists or creatives who are venturing into other opportunities. They're really trying to cultivate other ways of earning revenue. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. But I don't think the issue is like people need to be inspired. Oh, yes, people can be inspired. Eddie, you can inspire people like you do with except me, you failed to get me to the gym. Someone told me today that, oh, Faisal, you go to the gym. I'm like, no. Yes. But you inspire people to work out, to get their bodies physically fit. And that's, it can also be a creative way. But maybe you could say like, if Eddie is doing this gymming and stuff, like what can I create for him to be as an artist? What can I get him to be that is Ugandan, that is me, that can others can start?
For example, by workout t-shirts?
Exactly. And recently, I was talking yesterday, was it yesterday or a few days ago, I was walking around, and then I realized that these days you find many women wearing tights. What do you call them?
Yes,
those tight shorts.
Yes.
Which it was never like this before. You know, women always covered themselves. They didn't like anything. Now you find them on the street jogging with their it's a new way that they are feeling free. There's more freedom and also confidence for women
for whatever they are wearing, which is created by an artist.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really think, and you find they are trying also to find those that are more designing. So it's not even about the body, but it's also about the design of what they are wearing, the formation. And I like it because before, I think 10 years ago, it was very rare to find a woman walking on the streets like this. Yeah. Now they go to town anywhere, you find them in the mall in this kind of dressing. So how do artists think about this new approach to people? Do they study? Do they do
look
research?
At the trends?
Do they do research and see how are people behaving? And but also the challenge is that when I was doing a research paper for a German government, and then they asked me about the leisure culture in Uganda, and I could not find statistics. Like, no, it's not there. Even when I went to the Uganda Statistics Bureau.
Bureau of Statistics.
And I asked them, what are the statistics of the leisure? What's the leisure culture in, let's say, for example, in Kampala? What do people spend on? We don't know, and that also helps to inform people who are planning, like the KCCA. They need to know how much people spend in the bars, in the restaurants, on the concerts. What do they eat? What do they like to eat? Where do they like to spend their time between 5 and 6? So that when you're planning the city, you can understand that between this time and this time,
they like to go in this place.
People like to go to this place. Maybe not a particular place, but people like to do this. People like to go to they like this kind of music. So that you have an idea of your city and how people use it. And that's when you're adding into new buildings or authorizing new buildings, you can advise people who are building, not to just build malls and stuff. You can tell them, you know what, according to the trend of people, the way they go out, the way they use the city, the way they engage, these are the things that we would recommend for you to add into your building. You know what I mean? So it's also an issue of research that maybe artists or creatives or even authorities don't put in place first to say that this is how we need people to do. This is where the trend is going. This is how we can help our city, our population to grow. So it's a mix of not being very, thoughtful in the processes, as well as not having the capacity maybe to do what is needed. Yeah.
Well, Faisal, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we want to look into what you have just said, which is very interesting. There are a lot of opportunities when you're talking that I see coming. But are the artists taking advantage of this? Are you, as a creative mind, taking advantage of this? Are you advising the authority, or are you creating a product that will attract the authority to actually fund your project or to be part of the consumption of your project? Stay right there. Creative Industry Talk. We'll be right back after this break.
Attack you, they vilify you, and the goal is to weaken you financially, is to weaken your owner. These are slanderers. So I'm glad that someone would stay up at night to ask and learn about me. And I pray that in the next 2 months, because I know many Ugandans who travel overseas, when they go there, one of the things, because the media has been so much, and Sam Kutesa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has really not done a good job. He has dropped the ball on this issue. Why? So many of us are being accused of being gay killers, including me. You've just heard that person. Uganda is being accused that we kill gays, which actually is absolutely untrue. And because of this, it has affected our tourism. It affects people who go overseas to do work or study. It affects whenever you go to a conference. Hi, my name is Eddie Okello. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Uganda. Oh, you are the gay killers. And then you begin to describe. So one of the things that I've done is I've written a book, which should be coming out. I know that I keep saying the same thing, but the work of doing a book takes a long time, and I wish I could be supported. You know, many people who write on this subject, like Sylvia Tamale, she's supported by the Rockefeller Foundation, Carnegie Foundation. There is money.
Is a very big brand, and as we go on, we will probably discuss the things we're trying to do to see that things change for the better.
Good. Sean, on the CEO bench, for everyone who is following, we're live on our YouTube studio where we actually stream from. So YouTube studio, for everybody asking for a link, is actually House of Talent Uganda.
Confident in themselves and what they are offering. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, women will easily settle for a less pay than men would.
Mona Onyeto goes on to say, or I think it's a comment, says, I didn't know that beauty products are taxed at 60%. Whoa.
They are. I pray that changes soon, but they are.
So with that challenge of 60%,
setting up the company, you're doing tours all across the world. You know, a personal account is great, but how these things are taxed becomes important for you know, for your business later on. As soon as you cross that threshold of 50 million a year, you know, you're now in
the interest become more shares.
Yes.
Welcome back to the program. My name is Eddie Okila, and this is the Creative Industry Talk. In the studio is Faizo Chiwewa, who is the founder and artistic director of Bayimba International Foundation, who is also about to launch a new product called Umva Creatives.
Yeah, Umva Creatives.
We want to know, you are creating, the audacity for you to continue creating and the hope that we will buy into your product at this hour. It's quite amazing. While others are stuck and don't know what to do. But again, you mentioned something that I want to go back to before we went for break, which was people need to look at available opportunities that is there and don't wait for somebody to come and tell you, please design for me this or please create for me this. As a creative mind, you've got to think about what is the opportunity that is available for me in this space, in this time, in this situation, in this season. Many of them are quite very depressed at home, and some have a lot of hope. I've met so many people who said, I'm recording fantastic music now from the recording artist. I've met people like Paolo Akiki who says, I'm having fantastic painting right now. Producer at Gallery says, I'm thinking I work from home, so I see the leaves on the road, I see the traffic, so I'm creating a lot more things right now. And so I asked him, so the audacity of hope that when you create things in this time, people are going to buy is amazing. And are people going to buy this thing? Yes and no. So Faizo, back to you. You're also having the hope that if you launch Umva Creatives, and we want to first of all know what is Umva Creatives and what is the platform all about. Do you have these artists who have this hope to continue creating the art pieces that are going to go selling? What is Umva Creatives to start with?
Umva Creative is a platform that we've been working on since April last year, when we went into the lockdown. There was that whole...
Was it born out of lockdown situation?
There was that whole, period of supporting artists, we needed to support ourselves because the government supported the essential people, and then we realized that the artists, no one came in to support them. So everyone was looking for food, rent, and stuff like that. And then we realized that actually, even if you give someone 10 kilos of posho and 5 of beans, for how long are they going to survive on these things? So we realized with my team and realized that we need to do something that is, in case this lockdown is over, and if there is another pandemic that will come after, we are not leaving artists to stay without earning anything. So that's why we started this platform. And Umva is a kind of like a rebellious system, which is really looking at Umva itself. It means a universal method for value access, meaning that we want to make sure that all the artists have access to money, direct revenue, without middlemen. And this is also a very good, so it's kind of like a cryptocurrency software that we've built. You get if you sell your painting, you get your cash. There's no middleman trying to do what, take 40% at whatever. You're transacting with your own revenue.
Say for example, if I want to buy an art piece from Faizo Chiwewa, am I able to order direct and say yes?
You order that because you see the piece, you see it on the platform, then you order it. The artist gets their money instantly. Not again, Faizo send me a check or invoice. No, the money comes. So what happens when you get to the platform, you register, and when you register, you get a bank account. So that bank account is all where your money goes. immediately it's paid for. So, but that's on the end of the artist. And then on the end of the buyer, you can also just sign up as a buyer, and then you put, when you sign up again, you get a bank account. So you can transfer your money from your bank or Stanbic or whatever, Barclays, and you put on that account. So what it helps if you're a buyer is that every time you need to buy something, you're not going to pay these transfer fees, so you transfer your money at once. And then when you're paying within the system, you're not going to be charged for transaction fees. That's what we're trying to do. And you can also pay with mobile money, you can pay with PayPal, you can pay with bank transfers. So all these systems, we have integrated everything so that we don't leave anyone out. But that's on the end of the buyer and the seller. And then why did we set up this Umva Creatives? Is that we realized that when you walk around, artists create work. And then I've been having this conversation with my friend Margaret Kafero, and we're like, when you go to all these embassies of Uganda that are abroad, we have 37 embassies and 37 residencies, official. But you'll never find a Ugandan art piece at any of the residencies or any of the embassies, unless if one person or one individual just bought whatever those things they buy on the street. You find Chinese works, and I'm like, this is an embassy. You should have at least some of the works from Uganda. So the platform is going to help to bridge that gap, whereby if you don't have money to buy an art piece, you can rent it. You can say, Eddie, you have a creative industry show, and I want to have a different background every week. You just go on the platform, rent the work, it's delivered to you, you use it, you take it back, you pay, and that money goes direct to the artist. So that in that way, you have an opportunity to have a different scene every time you're doing your show. You can do it for your office, you can do it for your home, you can do it for events, those people who have events or weddings or functions where they need to have different works. And also the other thing is that many people don't have Ugandan art. We are now trying to figure out the costing of how much can we sell this work, because you have to value. The pricing is very difficult. I'm telling you, I've been having this conversation for like a month. How much do we price this work? But we are trying to figure out that how can Ugandans afford to buy this work, because we all love art. In one way or the other, we just don't know. Many people don't know that they love art. That's why you find them buying fake flowers, they buy fake Chinese stuff. But if they have an opportunity, like you go to Jumia and order food at your home, you go to a platform where you can just look and say, maybe this wall doesn't look nice. Let me have a piece of Mona Lisa or a Daudin or a Paul Ndema or a Samson. This is what we are trying to do, and I think this platform is going to go. This is just for the 1.0 version. The 2.0 is going to include music. It's going to include other used products like an old guitar, or you want to buy a set of drums, you want to sell your stuff and things like that. So we are building it to be an e-commerce for art.
Okay. Faisal, you speak very creative, very passionate about this, and I'm sure somebody out there who is trying to create is still stuck. I've met so many artists out there who are struggling to create something, and they say, Eddie Okila, for you, how do you even come up with these ideas? And are people going to ever pay you for these platforms you're creating and these things you're trying to do? And I've always told people, I don't see the numbers. And I've always told people, aim to have 1%. If you have that 1%, that 1% will reach out to the next and to the next. The mistake we have as creatives is to think that when you create something, you need to have a huge number of people following you, 100 and millions of people, then you feel comfortable. Numbers necessarily does not represent or translate to the viability of that, or the need for that platform to be there. So I'm not a person who always look for huge number of people following me. But I want to take you to a point where, Faisal, you talked about creating stuff and giving a platform for the artist and the creative people to do. I don't see people who are into woodwork, for example, they're always left out. They are very creative people. They are always locked in their space. They don't quite come up to think about this. Is it a lack of that this kind of creative minds don't know their ability to be able to create things that we need, furniture at home, we use the furniture, we use chairs. but they are totally locked out. Are they going to have a platform?
Yeah,
you know.
Actually, I mean, it's very good you asked this question, because during our research process, when we were researching this platform, what is going to do, this version that we're doing, we had a lot of engagements with artists, and actually I learned a lot. I mean, I've been doing with art for the past 20 years, but even still, I'm still learning, and I learned a lot through this process, because our first focus was on the visual art, the paintings, you know, and then we realized that, oh, we also have the sculptors, we have the interior designers, and most of the artists are double, they do these things double, like Edward Wadimba. He's a very nice, you know, batik. He does quite some batik, but he also does a lot of nice paintings, but he also does furniture. He does beds. There's this hotel here, which is 99, is it 900 something? Yeah. Somewhere on Kisementi. Yeah. He designed everything there, and I was like, are you sure? And he took me around and said the beds, the furniture, the chairs. You might think it was ordered on IKEA, but very nice work. So we realized that we had left these guys out, and then, so we've added them. Yes, we've added them onto the platform.
But are they willing to come forward? Because most times they locked down. You look at a guy who does nice woodwork, and he's telling you he has no idea of how his work is.
Because most of them, you know, there's also this challenge. First of all, they don't know that there are opportunities, but they have not invested in knowing how to sell their work to bigger people. They always use this word of mouth contact, or some people you meet and they are doing great works and you never know that they are doing well till you find out, like, I didn't know Edward does furniture. I didn't know. I knew very recently when I was doing this platform, and he was like, and he was the one actually championing the movement of getting visual artists. And then later on he's like, by the way, I also have some work I don't like what? And then he showed me, and I'm like, this is amazing. So that opportunity, but also people not knowing how to get their products easily delivered to people. We are still in that era of people doing work, and you know, you make a bed and cannot get out of the house. You know, I think we need artists, like most people in the furniture business, need to start thinking, how do I make a product that is easily transferred, movable, and also can be organized or arranged, or how do they call it, like assembled by someone. I don't need to be there. The way we go to IKEA, and then you buy a piece of art, or you buy a table, you just get it in the boxes and you take it home, and then you fix it yourself, you know? So we need to start understanding also that furniture design is not always about designing something in your studio and then you want someone to bring a truck and then carry it the way, and then no, we need to start moving forward. We need to put the work out. We also need to make it much more easier for people, but also thinking in terms of the spaces, because most of the time we don't, and I don't blame the artists, because we don't have standard spaces in Uganda. No, serious. We don't have standard spaces. You cannot say, you know, in Europe.
But the artist needs to come up with the design of the standard spaces.
No. But you know, like in Europe, there are standard spaces. A bedroom has to be this size. And the artists know, the people who do furniture know that according to the standards of construction, beds are this size. So if a bed, if I'm making a bed for a room which is standardized, I have to make a bed like this. You get what I mean? Yeah. But here you find this room is 10 by 10, the other one is 3 by 4, the other one is 10. So and
because the artist who designed was the cousin who just called and said he drew it on the paper and said, I want to just finish this.
This is an official thing. This is an official thing that it's guaranteed. You know, it's guaranteed bedrooms or sitting rooms. But here, all beds are 6 by 5 or 4 by 4, or you cannot get another bed of your style. You know, it's difficult. So it makes it very difficult for people who are, you know, living in small spaces to really enjoy the work of, you know,
an artist.
You know, of an artist who, you know, who doesn't have, who has no idea of how these spaces are being arranged. So there's still that problem. If we could standardize spaces, and then artists can also be more flexible in terms of like, okay, how do I make things to fit into people's spaces? You know, the minimalism, but also the experimental work of making sure that works are not just for those people who have space.
Wow. Well, we are on the Creative Industry Talk, and we're talking about the audacity to remain creative in the lockdown situation or in a pandemic situation, when there is COVID-19 pandemic situation. Of course, a lot of artists are depressed at the moment and they are not creating stuff. But those who are remaining active and creating are having a platform where they can publish their work. For example, Faizo Chiwewa here is talking about, Umva Creatives that was born, last April as a platform for artists to, bring in their work, collaborate, and be able to sell their work and showcase their work online, which wasn't there before. And I think it's going to be the first one. Even it was there as a platform for art, wasn't there. And then, of course, we're talking about, if you're remaining active and having the audacity we're talking about is you having the resilience still to be thinking. There are many problems and multitudes of problems in the background, okay, in your backyard. But you still wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm going to have to create this product. I'm going to look at the problem that we have in our society, in our community, in our nation, in our region, and I create a product that will, fill in that gap. Those people are surviving. Those people are not running mad. Those people have clients coming in. But those who have, have a linear way of thinking, that it's only one thing, I'm a musician, and so I just go and record music, and he's not doing something that is totally out of the comfort zone, are struggling. Faizo, those are quite a number of them. And I want to just ask you a question as we wind up the show, how do we get more artists to be more active or more creative people to start thinking outside the box? What should we do? Because government is not going to do for us. And who is government anyway? We are the government ourselves. Yes. And if we're not thinking for ourselves, we can't blame government, because government is we and we is government. We're just talking about, we're shifting the responsibility of the thinking to the people in the state. But the people in the State Department are dealing with political pressures and so many other things that if the artists don't come up with these things, some of them are not going to pay attention to. How do we get more people to continue being, hopeful, not being hopeless in this pandemic situation, to do much greater stuff than we used to do before?
I think for me, the sad thing is always to see how people run away so easily, because everyone wants to go out. I want to go to America. I want to go to the UK. I'm like, you want to go there and enjoy what people have worked hard for, instead of contributing. I really think there is a very little spirit of contribution here. People don't see how they can make an effort to be contributive to the growth of our country. And they always want to get things easily. They want to get quick money. They want to, that's why they all run to America. We've lost so many artists. And then you find, one time I was really saddened to see a dancer. I will not mention his name. He left here, went to Europe, and then luckily he's a very good dancer. He ended up doing this Dancing with the Stars, and I think he went all the way to the semi-finals. And then when he was doing an interview, he said that, oh, thank you so much, people, for accepting me, for voting me to be all this way. You can't believe where I come from. My country is so bad. There is no opportunity. And I looked at this guy, and I'm like, really? 45 million people are living here. Are they dying? Yes, you're lucky, but don't put it on the country. Make your contribution as a good dancer. So I think, for me, the challenge is also that people have also exploited what they know. Because you have to forgive everyone. We are in a very bad education system that does not support creativity from the beginning to the end. So you find people are just queer from the beginning, because what they learn is not helping them. They have spent all their years in school and they come out without knowing anything to do with life or being contributive. We are always told to be given. Your teacher gives you notes, you copy and paste, or whatever. Your parents give you money, so you are always given. So there is it's very hard to find people who are really able to work hard and be able to do things without being questioned or without looking at what is in for me. But also, the other thing was a friend of mine who were doing a biking tour, and he told me, what? The next generation is going to be different, because some of the children have learned, going to international schools. What do they teach them? They teach them to be creative from a young age, and they give them topics or assignments that are really challenging them to think beyond what they know or what the teacher is giving them. And also, children who have grown up now, learning, knowing that I can go, I don't know what they call it, tebacha ina nyomalo. You know, no, seriously, tebacha ina nyomalo, because you know, they can go to the mall and it's very, of course, when you go with your kid to a restaurant, let's say Cafe Javas, and you give them food and they take a picture, you know that one they still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But if you find a kid to have a pizza or whatever, you know, they're not going to take a picture of that pizza because, oh, I have
it's not a very big deal to have a pizza.
Normal,
you know? Whether I have it or not, it's okay.
And when that generation, when it grows, it's going to change a lot of things, because you realize that they don't, even if they don't have money, they're not going to think around, oh, what is exciting, you know? They will work towards to make things different. And I think that's what I like about the new young generation of the 14 and 16 and 17 young olds. But our generation is still struggling because we've been brought up in this system of being fed, you know, from home to school to everywhere you go, you need to be helped. And now we don't know how to deal with challenges. We don't know. That's why people are really struggling. And those who are managing, they're doing their best. Those who are not able, you cannot blame them, because of course everyone tells me you have to take responsibility, yes, but also you have to see the system and the structure that they have been raised in that does not support the minds that we need at this time.
Wow, wow. Are you a creative mind? Are you thinking creatively? Do you still have the authority within yourself to create something? Do you have hope, or you become hopeless because of the pandemic situation? Are you struggling with thinking? Perhaps you need to, you know, surround yourself with people who are thinking positively and look at the problems around you. Look at how you can be part of the solution of that problem. If you're not able to get out of that space to do something, most probably you are not going to be successful. So those who have the audacity of hope to keep moving out, the authority, the thinking, the creativity, the mindset to say, I need to do something for myself, are doing it. And Faisal, thank you very much for coming to the show today. We want to give your last word to that artist who is almost committing suicide. I was talking to an artist, and it's a very sad note that an artist, about 4 of them reached out to me after watching you and I on the Creative Industry Talk, and we're talking about how to get fundings and, you know, and stuff. And then this person, creative mind, reached out and say, Eddie Okello, my name is so and so, I'm reaching out to you. I don't know how to meet you, but I've watched your clips and I've watched your interviews with Faisal. I don't know how to get funding for my project. I've struggled and I've failed, and I just feel like I'm so frustrated. I just feel like I'm going to die. So I asked him one question. I said, well, sorry that you're having that feeling, and sorry that you're going through that situation, or, you know, going through that kind of, you know, feeling. But have you received a memo from God that this is going to be the end of it? He felt like I was being, you know, unkind to him. Then I also asked him, I said, you are a person who create work. You are always thinking. People come to you. This is a creative writer. He's a very good writer. But he can't write something for himself
to remind him of
something, or even to say, this is what I've created. He's used to creating things for others. So the ability for him to think creatively for himself, to come up with something, is taken away from him. And he now feels like he wants to commit suicide. So I told him, well, committing suicide won't solve the problem, but what is most probably going to happen to you is that you have abdicated the duty of thinking for what you can do and the power to others. How can artists take back that power to them and begin to do it as we wind up the show, Faisal?
Yeah, but I think, Eddie, we have to be honest. We are all going through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we can be here and just, people sometimes they see you walking and they think, Eddie has
everything is normal, yes.
No, we all have our issues to deal with. But what makes it different is that you wake up in the morning and put yourself together and say, I'm going to go and work, or I'm going to go and write, I'm going to go and create work. Because whether you like it or not, you need to survive for tomorrow. Yeah. So the issues we face with suicides, thoughts, and you know, depressions, they are real. they exist and people are going through them. Of course, you need to, definitely, some people need to get help, talk to someone. But again, we also have to remember that we have responsibilities. We might not be so significant in these countries where we feel like, oh, I'm a prime minister or I'm so and so. But every human has a responsibility to contribute to the future of this country, whether you are recognized or not, you know. But I think what we need to do is to think and know that the future needs to be different.
Yeah.
It cannot stay the same. And we as a people have to contribute to the difference that we seek to have. When you see good places, good cities, you sit in a plane and it's all designed, do you think that it was just it came out of the air by itself? People put their thoughts to that. So what are you working on as a creative artist? What are you contributing to the betterness, to the beauty that you want to see? You know, and it's not only for the creatives, but also for the people who are planning for this country, for the people who are investing in this country. Whatever investment you're making, what is it adding on to the future of this country, to the creativity, to the lifestyle, to the betterness of the people?
Wow. Well, we want to leave you with a very interesting topic of discussion today. One, if you will put it up there, I will ask the team to put it up there for you to remind yourself. And the topic is, program is Creative Industry Talk. And the topic today is the audacity of hope to create things and to be creative in this pandemic situation is key for our next step of, you know, being creative people who are successful in life. And of course, the program has come to an end. And we want to say thank you very much, everybody who has been following the show all across the world. Thank you very much to Faisal for always coming and sharing with us, you know, a lot of wisdom coming from his experiences. And he's been traveling. He's just given you an understanding of, you know, what happened in Germany when a South African production house and Creative Minds could not be in Germany because they were all tested positive, but they presented, you know, the audacity of hope. That's what you're talking about, to continue being creative even in the pandemic situation is the perfect match and a perfect fit.
Taking risks, yeah.
And taking risk. If you're not taking risk, it's going to be very difficult for us to.
People really fear to take risks.
Yes.
They are always worried about, oh my God, what am I going to do? I think, you know, we take risks every day. I mean, and I think for me, I find it boring not to risk because I think it's very important to, you know, if you don't risk, then I think there is not really much purpose of, you can't challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself with things that you can't reach and but look forward to or work towards to. So you think big, like everyone says that, oh, you have to have a bigger vision. Definitely you have. And that means that you're taking a risk to be, you know, relevant. We need to be relevant. We cannot just die and pass by. You know, we are not birds.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Faisal, and thank you very much, everybody, for being a part of the, you know, Creative Industry Talk, growing big and better. Until next week, we are live on House of Talent. Website www.houseoftalentuganda. www.houseoftalentug.com is live right there. You can be a part of the conversation. Keep the conversation coming on Facebook, House of Talent Uganda, and on Twitter at HTV1. Until then, we want to say thank you and stay safe, stay creating, keep the hope alive. Eddie Okila, Faisal Chiwera, signing out. Hello guys, welcome to my video this week where I get to talk about health and fitness for you and for me and everyone out there in this pandemic situation all across the world. And I want you to share this video to as many people as possible. Today's video, I'm going to tackle just how you start your workout from home. You are in a lockdown situation, confined in a place. Of course, not necessarily as lit as mine like this, because I got a little bit of a studio here and I'm trying to work out a few things. I mean, I do a lot of stuff from here. Yeah, but it's a confined environment that you can start your workout. And I want to share with you a number of things that you can do when you're in lockdown and to be able to look after your health and fitness really quite well. Now, without any further ado, today's video, I want to focus more on number one, how do I do the workout from home? For example, we're going to just do everything about jumping jacks, and jumping jacks exercise using your body posture and using your body weight to actually really work out. But more so, I'm going to be focusing on what we call cardiorespiratory capacity. So, the cardiorespiratory capacity is really the ability of our body to take in oxygen, which is respiration, use that oxygen at the cell levels, which is circulation of oxygen to the rest of the skin walls or body walls or to the rest of the body. And that oxygen and the circulation is used at the cellular level, which is the conversion of food to energy, what scientifically we call bioenergetics, right? And the bioenergetics, when you go deep down in it, is going to be something that we will refer to as glycogen levels, okay, energy levels. Now, the virus affects you in so many ways, okay? And the virus we're talking about, just like most viruses that come, affects a person from the lungs. And this particular one is affecting our really red blood cells, capacity of oxygen flow, you know, distribution and stuff like that. And as well as, you know, the fluid path in the body, okay? What we say that if your body breaks down the fluid, of course, if the electrolytes in the body is not functioning very well, then the electrons that a body are wired with a lot of electricity, so signals are not moving, so somehow fluids are going to break down and you don't know what's going to go, and before you know it, we're in like a situation called mucus and all this other stuff. But this video is really to help you build that capacity from the confinement of your sitting room or your living room or your, you know, one bedroom apartment. And so I start this video by just warming up. Start with jumping jacks. I have a bit of space. I'm going to do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have done 50 jumping jacks. While I do jumping jacks, I begin to develop, you know, you hear me running out of like breath in the process of doing that, right? And you can feel like I'm now beginning to pant along the way and feel like I'm running out of breath. That's the normal way because my body is trying to take in oxygen, right? And I have to breathe in the process of that. At the same time, it has to distribute that oxygen to the rest of the body. So some people will be breathing like that, right? Now I'm just helping you build that capacity, right? So that's the first set. Now to build that capacity using just jumping jacks, you can do this from home, guys, and you
can begin to build your capacity. Assuming tomorrow there's no movement because coronavirus, everybody's saying stay inside. Some people are going to run mad. And these are some of the things that you can do for yourself and to build that capacity. Okay, so I'm trying to increase the capacity of my lungs, okay? The capacity of my chest to make my lungs, first of all, to take in a lot of oxygen, all right? And do a physical exercise. There is no better way for us to do this, to be able to survive from coronavirus. Short of this, we're gonna go down very quickly, down the path very quickly. All right, so you're gonna do this 3 sets. So that was the first set. We're gonna do the second set, okay? Jumping jacks all the way up to 50. Simple. You can start with 25, 3 sets, okay? 25, counting 1, 2, 3 to 25 while you do it. That's 1 set. Counting 1, 2, 3, again 25, 2 sets. 1, 2, 3 up to 25, 3 sets. Take a bit, okay? In between, have a moment, just, gather some breath, a little bit, recover, and then go back again. So we're gonna do this, all right? Second set, ready to go? Jumping jacks is the focus of the workout today. And again, I'm just helping you build the capacity of your lung. While we do jumping jacks, you notice that my muscles are moving, okay? So my shoulders are moving, right? Because I do this to allow the capacity. The lat muscles, these muscles here are moving. They're expanding and contracting, expanding, contracting, right? Now, when they expand and contract, I'm helping my muscles to build capacity. Right? So the more I give it like this, the more space is going to be in my veins for my body to continue taking oxygen and the flow, flow of blood to the rest of the body, making it much easier for circulation and respiration to happen normally, okay? While I do that, I build what we call, increase my metabolism so that the rate at which the food is going to burn from my body is also faster. But the one most important thing that we need to do is that our body develops new cells every single time we do exercise. Right, guys? So let's go back to the second set, and then I'll come back and explain the third set. Right? 1, 2, 3, we go. The reason why we're counting 1, 2, 3, we go is because mentally you need to prepare yourself for what you're going to do. Okay? So mentally you prepare it, physically you activate. You get it? So 3, 2, 1, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right, those are 2 sets. As you can hear, I'm breathing hard, and you can hear that I'm breathing hard. Again, we're just a warm up, but he's going to help us build a lot more capacity in the chest. You're going to start feeling like your chest is having some weight, or there's something going on, right? There's a burn, you're running out of oxygen. Sometimes you're going to feel some bit of headache, all right? Headache, headache coming. And so that headache, when it starts to come, you begin to feel like it's just a normal process. Your body is trying to adjust to, taking in oxygen, circulation of that to the rest of the body. There's a normal process of you building oxygen flow, all right? Ready? So we've done the second one, all right? Now, we're gonna go back to the third set. The third set is where the real workout is, all right? Is where the real workout is. The real workout has never been on the first set. It's always on the third set. Third set is preparation. And you can do this up to the 10th set. Ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. That's 150 times I've been doing jumping jacks. Now, how many of us are able to do jumping jacks up to 50 or 150? That's the number of times I have exercised my heart muscles, okay? All right? That's the number of times I've worked my shoulders, okay? That's the number of times I've created space. That's the number of times I am expanding and contracting, all right? That's just one set of the workout, one type of the workout, just using that called the jumping jacks. So you can start from the jumping jacks position and do up to 10 sets. So I've done that. Again, you can do this from home, and you can make sure that your workout is effectively done from home if you're concentrating. So you must concentrate during the workout. All right, guys? So I'm gonna take you to the last set of the jumping jacks, all right? And then that will be a wrap for today. I know this video shouldn't be long. Share your comments, your kisses, and your disses. I want you to subscribe to my channel and actually make sure that you share this video as far as possible, as wide, because we're in a corona situation. Coronavirus affects the lungs of a person. And so we really need to build our capacity now than ever before. Now, if you have been doing this and you get to corona and you get attacked by coronavirus or you contract a disease, you need to get back to working out. It is worse when you're not doing any physical work exercise at all. You get it? All right, let's go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 50. All right? It's a wrap for today. And I want to say thank you very much for joining in. Look out for my next video coming next, when I focus on a different part of the body, but just showing you what you can do home, what you can do in the comfort of your sitting room going forward, and how you can actually navigate the disease called coronavirus and stay focused. Please remember, no one can ever make money when they're sick, and neither can you wake up in the morning to enjoy your money when you're sick. Nor can your money save you when you're sick. But there's one thing you can do. One thing you can do is to always be fit so that you can enjoy your money. All right, guys? Again, I leave you with this. I always say this. There are two combinations you cannot have in life. Two combinations that you shouldn't have in life. Two combinations you should never have in life. One, you cannot be unfit and broke. You cannot be unfit and broke. You cannot be unfit and poor. God will reject you. You get it? Thank you very much. Until the next video, share it far and wide and reach out to me. My Twitter handle is @EddieOkila. Please reach out to me, write to me. Please reach out to me. My Twitter handle is @IamEddieOkila. @IamEddieOkila. Write to me and tell me your story and how you're doing. And you can reach out to me on my Twitter. Just go to my Twitter. My Twitter handle is @MyTwitterHandle. Please follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Of course, my Twitter handle is @MyTwitterHandle. @IamEddieOkila is my Twitter handle. Please follow me on that one. And of course, on Facebook, go to Okila Fitness and be a part of that family growing big and better. Okila Fitness is the page, of course, on Facebook. And of course, on YouTube, go and subscribe to my channel, which is Okila Fitness. And I will be sharing a lot more information there. Until next time, stay blessed and stay focused to your health and fitness.
Felix, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time since we saw you here. We don't know where you have been. We don't know what's been happening. So where have you been? What's been happening with you?
2 weekends I've not been away, and it's been quite a very challenging time for me and my family. Quite a number of uncertainties, unfortunatelities that happened. The people that passed away. So me and my family were still in a grieving process, but life has to go on. The sun rises and it goes down, and so I'm back and trying to get back on my feet.
Yeah, well, our condolences to your family and prayers also to your family, and for anyone else out there who had hardships with family members passing on. We pray that the Lord will keep you guys safe. But on that note, let's get back to basketball now. Felix, I was reading what happened last weekend.
A lot has been happening. A
lot has been happening. Yeah, a couple of games there.
I'd first start with asking you, the Angels need an angel. 3 losses in 3 in the ladies division. What is not happening with Angels basketball team?
You know, this being a very short season, you know, I think, you know, people are used to having 2 parts of the season, you know, where the first part is first 5 games, you know, you're checking out what's happening, then, you know, you bounce back in the later games and also in the second part of the season. Yeah, but now it being a short